Y'all, can I tell you about these Tecovas boots? I don't know if y'all know this, but these boots are handmade, high quality, stylish, and comfortable right out of the box. I know we buy everything online these days, but boots are something you really should get fitted for. And it just so happens Tecovas is based right here in Austin. So come shop with me at the Tecovas store on South Congress or the Domain. That's TECOVAS.com. Don't go gently, y'all. Today on CityCast Austin, it's the Friday News Roundup. We're going to break down a few local news stories that caught our eye this week. We're talking about the Austin City Council and Travis County budgets and some local businesses that we're saying a prayer for. Here with me today is our newsletter editor, Kelsey Bradshaw, and executive producer, Eva Ruth Moravec. Thank you to Tecovas, our exclusive launch sponsor. It's Friday, August 16th. I'm Nikki Devon, and this is what Austin's talking about. Hi, Kelsey. Hi, Eva Ruth.
Say a little prayer for you. That's all I could think about.
Forever and ever. Hi, Nikki. Hi, Kelsey.
Hi. Happy Friday.
Okay, so let's dive right in. Austin City Council just adopted their budget for the next year. It's only a tiny $5.9 billion. It's the biggest it's ever been.
I should hope.
Pocket change. Pocket change.
Pocket change.
Yeah.
Now, the city gets its money from property taxes, sale taxes, hotel occupancy taxes, and fees for services like electricity and trash collection. So essentially, most of that is us. And on average, with this budget, the Austin household is going to be paying the city an extra $200 more every year. Mackenzie Kelly was the only no vote on the budget because she did not like the tax increase. Y'all, I'm shooketh. $5.9 billion with a B.
That's crazy.
It's a lot of money.
So the city has grown, so it kind of makes sense that it would cost a little more to operate it and service all the people, more cars, more people needing, fire, police, EMS, whatever. Speed bumps, I don't know, whatever it is.
This is all for speed bumps.
All for speed bumps. Anyways, KXAN's Grace Reeder said the new budget will include a pay increase for civilian employees, which I'm always down for, millions for sheltering people experiencing homelessness, money for new fire and EMS stations, and additional funding for the police department. Now, I will say I have a friend that works at the fire department, and she is just fresh off of her small station having to focus on a much larger area. Like she said she had to cover something like 3 other stations because they're down right now.
Whoa.
And so because they're being...
It's real.
Yeah, it's because they're being remodeled or whatever. So it's like, I'm always going to say keep money for, give the fire and EMS whatever they want.
Mm-hmm. They're saving the people.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
They're saving the people actively every day.
I'm pretty pro everything you just said. Millions for people experiencing homelessness.
Check.
Hell yeah. Happy to pay a little more.
I was confused about how quickly things seem to go through. I thought this was going to take a little bit longer. I mean, I know there have been a lot of town halls and stuff like that, but once it gets to City Hall, it seemed like, I don't know, Nikki, fill us in on the process.
So you have, before they adopt the budget, there is an opportunity for public hearing, right? And so, which seems kind of counterintuitive. It's typically, it would make more sense that after you're like, these are all the things that we're going to give money to, then you let the public come in and be like, wait a minute, why this, why that, why this? But that all happens before. So there are weeks in August, there's all of July, well, half of July and most of the first half of August as, a city, you have to be kind of proactive. They're giving us a little bit of information. They're disseminating a little bit, but you have to come to City Hall. You have to come to the meetings and hear in real time what departments are proposing. And that's when you start to see these numbers. That's when you start to see the increases. People are like, well, we got this much last year, but we need this much this year. And those are the times that they get to tell you why. What are you doing with this money? Why do you need so much more?
Mm-hmm.
Once that adoption happens, that's it. It's done. And I will say that just for people that don't know, so they've adopted this budget. If you want something if you're an organization, you want to be considered more money for something for next year, you start now.
Mm-hmm.
They start talking about the budget for next year immediately. So like
as soon as it's passed.
as soon as it's passed.
We will have a lot more details about the budget in a future episode, but
Right.
I don't know. I just think, to me, the $200 a year, just looking at it like that, is a big deal. You know, they're not the only people or the only entity that charges taxes.
And, you know, we had an episode about Travis County budget and the AISD budget, and both of those, they're going to ask voters to approve a tax increase. You know, you look at it individually, it might not be that much. $34 a month for AISD equals $408 a year. $126 if Travis County's child care tax rate passes. So with the $200, that's $732 increase per year.
Well, and I understand like all of these things are to like make, you know, like this Travis County tax election that they're wanting to have. It's to make childcare more affordable for everybody. And like, I think that's great. But it's just coming at a time when everyone's very tightly squeezed right now, right?
I mean, everything is really expensive. I don't
Yeah.
own a house. I don't own a home. So I can't even imagine. Like, I can't imagine people that own homes. That cost always just seems crazy. Every year your property taxes are going up.
Mm-hmm.
And then in addition to your property taxes going up, everything just costs more. Food costs more. Gas
Right.
costs more.
Yeah.
And a lot of people are not getting the raises that they should.
You know, you can raise taxes a lot faster than you can raise somebody's pay rate, you know? And yeah, it's a big hurdle, I think, to home ownership. And honestly, I think it's good that at least Mackenzie Kelly is there to like push back. I just think a little bit of like friction around these decisions is a good thing.
Absolutely.
You know,
yeah.
it's our money.
Like, there needs to be some pushback. The other thing that has to be said, people that work for the city of Austin absolutely deserve that raise. When I worked there, that raise was the difference between me being able to do many things in my life. And it was a lot of years, the only raise I got, right? So like, I'm down for that raise and that's great. However, you know, for the people that don't work in the city,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? They might not be getting the raise to account for the taxes they have to pay to give you a raise.
Right.
So it's a little...
I'm for pay raises too for city employees. Like, they need to be able to live in this very expensive city like the rest of us. It's just like, are you being responsible with that $5.9 billion?
Such a big number.
Is there a billion in there that doesn't need to be in there?
Is there a billion they can just distribute to everyone in Austin?
Yeah.
Give us all a raise.
Exactly.
I would like for it to be just in my mailbox.
Right.
That's fair. That's fair. Can we, you know, what was it called? Stimulus. Can we get a stimulus?
Yeah. A stimmy.
A stimmy. What about that
Yeah.
stimmy? Some of that $5 billion.
I just want them to be responsible with that $5 billion.
When I run for Queen of Austin, that's what I'm going to say. Post-it notes and speed bumps, y'all.
Mm-hmm.
That's what we need. So, speaking of money, this week, DA Jesus Garza I won't use the term came under fire because I'm not an investigative reporter, but like,
I think you can.
he was in the news this week for getting $115,000 of the Travis County General Fund for home security. So on March 19th, back in March, a nondescript item appeared on the commissioner's agenda for executive session stating the commissioners would, quote, receive a briefing and take appropriate action regarding Travis County security, end quote. So apparently he posted DA Garza's home address on social media.
It's crazy.
They had a private conversation in executive session, possibly violating the Open Meetings Act, but that's up for debate right now. And then they voted publicly to allocate that $115,000 from the general fund, which is taxpayers' money, to provide specifically home security, but without any details about what type of security and why it costs so much.
Oh.
And this comes 2 years after the State Ethics Commission ruled that elected officials could use campaign contributions to make their homes more secure. But your boy only got $28,000 left in his campaign account. So currently, DA Garza is being escorted to public events with an armed investigator from his office. Mayor Watson is the only other local official that has that level of protection, and that is provided by APD's Executive Protection Detail.
Interesting.
So here's the other side of that. In the past 18 months, there have been 2 incidents documented, dispatch logs to his home, and terroristic threat reports to which he's ID'd as the potential victim. DA Garza's wife is Judge Andy Brown's chief of staff.
Oh.
And so they're getting criticism, right?
Okay.
He's also drawn anger from pro-police advocates and conservative residents because he wants police accountability and criminal justice reform. And he's overseeing the indictment of more than 24 police officers. Most of those charges have been dropped.
Mm-hmm.
The man is clearly, it's coming up for a reason. He is receiving threats. There is lots of concern, especially we're on the heels of an assassination attempt on former President Trump.
Right.
And I read this, Travis County is on pace to have the highest number of documented threats and concerning communications to officials in the past 4 years.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's interesting.
Yeah. It was like 194 threats. And of the 194 threats, 26 of them were like credible. And I'm guessing like to deem something credible, that's just like bodily harm or imminent danger is the word I'm looking for, imminent danger.
Mm-hmm.
And my question is like, how important is the safety of our elected / public officials? And how much should we spend in taxpayer dollars to ensure that safety?
I think it's important. And I think I think this would be a non-issue if they had been upfront about it.
Right.
I think the bigger problem that people are having, or at least that I'm having, is that they just quietly were like, I need security. And they were like, okay. There's just like, no.
No transparency.
Yeah, no transparency.
That never goes well.
Right.
I think it's wild that they were just like, yeah, this should be fine. There aren't like reporters or anything in Austin.
Yeah.
Like, what?
I feel like if he would have been like, hey, y'all.
I'm scared. Yeah.
Yeah, somebody has my home address.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Garza has been pretty outspoken about his wanting to be this reformer, wanting to go after police who he thought were misbehaving. He's been pretty aggressive on those cases. And he's kind of put himself out there, to some extent. Is this something that he could have paid for on his own? Or would that be expected for, like, if you're an elected official to kind of provide your own security? If you're kind of taking these stances as your political, identity?
Yes, he's had like a tumultuous relationship with Austin police and advocates for police.
Yeah.
But I mean, presidential candidates at some point in time get Secret Service no matter who they are.
Right. And it doesn't matter what side.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
He got voted in, the people support him, and he should be able to like work on his agenda.
I'll be super honest. I'm torn because a part of me is just like, yeah, man, this is kind of the spoils of war, for lack of a way better term to say this, right? Like,
yeah,
politics are scary. People are scary. Some people, I was amazed at how involved people were about city politics and local politics, almost to the point of just like, you feel like an unsafe person for my boss. And so every time we see you, we have like a protocol. There are several people in this city that just straight up hate my former boss. And to the point to where she felt unsafe, right? As like a small Black woman moving through the city. And so when we would see certain people, our policy person at the time, John, is a 6'8" man. So like if we knew that person, there was any chance that that person would be there, I think about, well, shit, if if he's gonna get detailed, then my tiny little former boss is like 5'2",
Right.
like 120 pounds, probably. Not that that has anything to do with it, but you know what I'm saying? Like,
No, she's little.
she's little. So what are we doing across the board?
Yeah.
And I'm not negating that he needs that.
Right.
But then what are we doing for the rest of our officials? And where does that stop?
What's the expectation?
What's the expectation? Does everybody get that?
Well, and being in the Capitol, Greg Abbott, all of our higher ups who lead the state, they don't like Austin. They don't like Austin officials.
Yeah.
I think that does matter. Like, I do think that when people see, well, our governor, he's doing it, it's fine if I do it, kind of thing, shit on Austin or whatever, or make outlandish claims and all these things.
Yeah. If he had gone out and said, I'm getting threatened, like what would the response have been from the pro law enforcement community who, like, would they have been like,
too bad. Yeah.
Sorry. I don't think that. Like, I think that our law enforcement has more integrity and is more professional than that. But I think like there are people in the city who would talk shit about it for sure.
No, ultimately for me, it really is. It just really is the secrecy of it all.
We should know who's getting it, how much we're paying for it, what that $150,000 is going to.
Yeah, it's just the secrecy.
Honestly, I would just be okay with just like, listen, we are, this has happened. And we take this very seriously.
Mm-hmm.
Here are the reasons why we feel like this needs to be an executive session.
Right.
It's not a good look that he's someone who's like, I want to be a reformer and I want to do this. And then not even be like, hey, we're not going to give you all the details because I'm scared to death, which is absolutely understandable. But it was just done so quietly, and that's shady.
Maybe in the future, if we're bringing up our budget, maybe we should consider security for our public officials in that budget. So, okay, y'all, it has been the week of bad news when it comes to Austin, like, businesses and live venues and like fun, wonderful Austin staples. We got some endangered businesses I feel like every week we lose another cool business.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Giddy Ups out south. It was, that cool honky tonk out south closed on the 11th of August. We're losing the Lost Well. I'm still salty about that.
What is there, like, I don't know, 60 days or something left?
Not anymore now. They down to like 40, 45 days.
Okay. Another one we recently lost was the Hi-Hat Public House.
Oh, my God.
Did you guys ever go there?
I love the Hi-Hat. It's right near me.
So good. Such a great, had really good hamburgers, but also awesome music. Like,
yeah, you could go hear jazz.
Mm-hmm.
I won't say almost any night of the week, but for sure they had a great guy that does jazz on Wednesdays.
Mm-hmm.
And also they had a bomb brunch too.
They really did. Yeah. They were open for 12 years on East 6th. And
that's impressive.
Yeah, I know. It was it was small, it was cozy, it felt intimate, but like really good food.
Y'all, my first, I sing with a band called Catastica. One of the bands I sing with is called Catastica. It's a band about cats and sex. But it's a great band.
Oh my God. Come on, meow.
We are crazy. But shout out to Catastica. But my very first show during South by with Catastica was at Hi-Hat. I Sing Dan is closed and Peter Pan Mini Golf. Now, are they closing permanently?
They were supposed to close next month, but they just got another 6-month lease extension. And so they'll be open till March 31st. Everyone was really excited when that news dropped earlier this week, that they were going to be able to stay open for longer in that spot right there on Barton Springs Road.
It's been there forever.
Yeah.
It has been around since 1948.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
What?
I
That's a
can't
long
even
time.
fathom that.
And they outlasted the McDonald's
Yes, they
Y'all-
did.
next
Okay,
to it.
for
that
real,
thing.
y'all. I mean, come on.
75 years.
Why isn't there some sort of way that we can hold on? 75 years? I feel like that is a part of our fabric.
We need to keep them.
It's very fun too. It's actually we're not just like, another Austin institution. Like, it's legit and it's
Yeah.
worth saving.
It's been there since 1948 for a reason.
Whew.
And there was another central Austin business that we heard about this week.
Yeah, egos. Y'all.
Tell us
about Egos.
Okay, so Egos, for those of you that don't know, and no shade, but what are you doing? Egos is just south of Riverside and Congress. It's kind of at the bottom of an office building or something, and evidently that building is falling apart. But Egos has been they just celebrated their 45th anniversary. They have been a karaoke bar in Austin for 45 years. Like people come there to like rip it up. But then also you can't be one of those people that can't sing at all. And the culture is still to just like support you and scream and yell for you. It is its own culture. Egos is its own culture. And I've been going there. I mean, like, I'm talking like college. You know what I mean? Like, that has been something that I have done. So they will be here for sure till the end of the month, but then they're not sure after that. Evidently, the plan is to, whenever that building gets rebuilt, that they will be, built back into the building some sort of way, but they don't know when that's going to be. They don't know what that's going to look like. And my heart is a little broken, y'all. I ain't gonna lie. Y'all should go to Egos. Every city has that bar or a couple of bars where when you go in, it is very clear that there's a contingency there that are just like regulars. And those regulars are from the city. You know what I mean? Like, and sometimes those regulars are nice. And sometimes those regulars are just like, oh, great, another tourist. This is amazing. Right? Like, Egos is like that. There's this really fun mixture of tourists, but also people that have been going and singing for decades. And I love that. I love it.
that.
I love a grumpy regular.
Well, and I love the idea of a regular. Like, I'm obsessed with the idea of regulars in general. And it just, I think holding on to places and making sure that these places continue to exist.
Mm-hmm.
I think regular culture is like very important and we should keep that around. And like,
I am definitely a regular at my favorite bar. I have turned into the grumpy regular at my favorite bar.
Yes.
That is my brand.
I can't imagine you ever being grumpy, but
Never.
for sure.
Well, we should all go and support these. Go to your regular, be a regular.
Yeah,
go
be a
to your
regular.
regular bar. Go to your regular putt-putt place. Support our businesses.
Yeah.
You have to have customers to survive. Yeah.
Well, and to wrap all this up together, let me try my hand at this. If you want something done about the city, you have to participate. You have to become a regular at City Hall. You have to become a regular watching meetings and participating in democracy. Like, you have to become those things, right? So you can't just be like, Peter Pan mini golf is closing and my taxes are raising. What am I going to do? It's like, well, no, you have to participate.
I think you're right on the point. Like, it can't be overstated enough how important local politics are, and just like being aware.
Well, and we are all about helping people be more connected with their city. I think we have a little extra something to give people on how they can be even more connected to Austin this weekend.
So here is your Takova's Don't Go Gently segment of the week. Our Don't Go Gently tip for this weekend is to head down to the Zilker Hillside Theater, 2206 William Barton Drive, for the last weekend of their free summer show, Legally Blonde, the musical. And yes, we are talking about the 2001 movie starring Reese Witherspoon as Elle Woods, a blonde who follows her ex-boyfriend to Harvard. It was turned into a musical. Now, the theater has been hosting free summer music productions since 1959, and this year's is not the one to miss. The final shows are this weekend, August 15th through 17th at 8:15 p.m. Pack a picnic, bring a chair or a blanket, pull on your favorite pair of Tecovas, and get out there. Okay, well, thank you guys for rounding up the news with me this week.
Anytime.
Yay. Have a great weekend.
That's all for today here on CityCast Austin. Do you want to join our team? Because we're awesome. We're hiring a podcast producer, so check our show notes for a link to apply. Our executive producer is Eva Ruth Moravec. This week, our producers are Joyce Tang and Natalie Rivera, and I'm your host, Nikki Devon. Our Hey Austin newsletter editor is Kelsey Bradshaw. Music is by Nelson Valente Aguilar of Como Las Movies. If you enjoyed the show, why not tell a friend, rate the show, leave us a review, and subscribe to our Hey Austin newsletter. We'll be back Monday morning with more news from around the city. Bye, y'all.